Welcome to One Spot Attractions, where we pick one spot at a Disney resort and talk about it.
Come along with us on a thrill ride like Space Mountain.
Or relax with us on a boat ride through Small World.
We will have all your favorites covered,
So bring your faith and trust,
and we will supply the pixie dust.
and we're off to One Spot Attractions. Hello and welcome to One Spot Attractions. I'm one of your hosts, Shelly.
And I'm Christy.
I guess we can be hostesses. We're
Oh.
ladies. It sounds fancy. Yeah. Well, we've got some goofy gossip for you that's going to go lined up nicely with our attraction today. What's going on in the world of Disney there, Christy?
Well, we're going to bring you to EPCOT, and we're going to go to the seas. And the gossip, and you guys, by the time this comes out, you guys probably already heard, but we got rid of one of our beloved manatees to replace him with a new manatee. So there's little Joe and Lou. They got rid of Lou, and he went off to another aquarium. And now we have Indigo. And I'm not really sure why they did that. They didn't, from what I've been reading, I haven't really seen anything. Little Joe and Lou have been together for many, 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 many years, at least since 1996, because I saw both of them when I first ever went. And I mean, that's a really long time to be together and then to just up and be
There's
like,
got to be
yeah,
a
there's got to
reason.
be a change.
But
I was just,
Disney's so
what?
good at
Yeah.
conservation, that's a choice of theirs. They're in the entertainment field, not for conservation, but they do choose to do conservation, and what they do with their parks can be very helpful. And I always felt that they did a really good job of educating people on marine life and conservation with those manatees. So, something had to have happened, because I just don't see them saying, he's old news, we're getting rid of him and putting something new in. It just doesn't seem on brand for them. It's going to be like any animal in any type of rehabilitation program. People get attached to their stories and them as specimens that they get to see often. So I'm sure that decision was not taken lightly.
Oh no, I'm sure the caretakers who have been taking care of them for a long time are very sad to see him go as well. Like me. I wasn't taking care of him, but I'm sad to see him go just because he's been there every time I've gone. But
How long does a manatee live? I have no idea what their lifespan. Maybe he went to hospice. I don't know. I used to do that when I taught. I had rats in the classroom because they're durable class pets that are extremely friendly. And when they would get old, I would bring them home and put them in hospice, so we didn't have the trauma of coming to school and their beloved class pet had died of old age. So maybe he's in hospice. I don't know.
maybe I would have to look up to see the lifespan of a manatee.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you don't know, Lou was the one had injury on the tail. So he was the one that was hit by the boat. So I
I
don't know.
remember that story.
Yes. So I don't know if, maybe something, I don't know. Disney has a really good vet team.
Yeah,
So like I can't even like wrap my brain around like maybe they couldn't take care of him. I because I know that they take really good care of their animals. They have a really great vet team.
that makes me
So
think
I don't
end
know.
of life preparation for Grandpa Manatee, and bringing in company for one that is clearly gonna miss them.
Yeah.
Manatees, if you've been fortunate enough to get out of the Disney bubble, not that it's fortunate to get out of there, but if you have the opportunity to expand your vacation long enough that you can explore Orlando and still have enough time for Disney, you can go and a lot of times of the year, especially in the winter, you see manatees and they're always in I don't know if it's a pod or what it is. They're in a group. They
They're very
clearly
social.
yeah, they clearly hang out in little family units. So, yeah, I'm sure there's something that will come out. We wish him well and we wish the new one very, good luck on Disney. That's a good place to live. If I
Yes, and
if
I
I couldn't
can't
live
wait
in
to
the
meet the
ocean.
new one.
Yeah, if I couldn't live in the ocean, I would want to live at the seas.
Right? Yeah, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but manatees are my favorite animal. Like ever since I first saw, I call them sea cows or floaty potatoes. But ever since I first laid eyes on those floaty potatoes, they just won my heart. Because actually, like a manatee I saw like started like chomping on the scuba diver's hair.
Oh,
And
at Epcot in the seas.
actually it was at SeaWorld. And
SeaWorld.
and she just lightly just went like this like a sloth and just he was just like, okay, and floated up to the top like a balloon. And I just thought it was like the most
Gentle
hilarious
reminder,
thing.
don't eat my hair. Okay.
Hello, future Christy here. I have talked to a cast member since the recording of this podcast, and no, Lou didn't go to hospice. He's well, and the cast members are very sad that they had to say goodbye to him because he was with them for so long. But this new manatee needed a home, and they thought that he would make a good pair, like friendship with little Joe. So that is why they put Lou in a different aquarium, because they needed a new home for this one and they couldn't keep all three. So Lou is alive and well. He is not sick and we all miss him, but now we will welcome the new manatee to the living seas. Everybody welcome Indigo.
But more animals disappeared at the seas. We lost, I'm not going to use lost because we didn't lose any. Relocated the dolphins. So, if you were looking forward to doing the dolphin experience at Epcot, that will no longer be because they had to relocate the three dolphins to another aquarium because they're actually going to be doing some renovations on that part of the aquarium. So unfortunately, they had to rehome them so that they could work on that part of the aquarium. So at least we know why they relocated those three dolphins. Um,
And that's a lot better than
so
putting them in a small, terrible location while they wait for their new home. So, credit to Disney for thinking about them and that too. Hopefully they're at a wonderful home wherever they went. So yeah, a little change is going on at the seas. But oh my gosh, is there still a ton there? And that's what we're going to get into today. Our one spot today is going to be the seas
oh,
with
that's
Nemo
me.
and Friends.
Sorry, I'm just like, what is it, Shelly?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the seas. This attraction is in Future World when you first, and I know that's it's called like nature now, but when you
World
enter
nature.
Epcot and you're walking towards Spaceship Earth, if you hang a right, you're going to go back into this rather large pavilion that houses the seas. Epcot is my favorite park. I can easily spend like a week at Epcot and not see everything. And the seas is one of them that we try to hit every visit, even though there's so much at Epcot, just because of how much it offers, but also just the experiences and the amount of education that's going on in that pavilion. Those cast members are almost like marine biologists. They know so much about their animals, and they're trying their best to take as good a care as they can. It's very
Yes.
commendable. Yeah.
Yes. So the ride itself, you start off coming through, and I love, if you're a Nemo fan, right outside of the attraction, they have the waves crashing onto like a rock. And you have your seagulls,
Are
doing
they
the
still
whole.
there? I thought they
They
removed
are.
those.
They are
They
still
brought them
there.
back. You can tell I haven't been there in a little bit.
If they're not, you still hear their voices.
Mine?
I'm like trying to think now if they're still there. But like you still hear them going, mine, mine, mine. So if they're not there, it's just like a haunting of them. So
And it makes it better.
yeah, kind of. It's like, where are they? I still hear them. But yeah, so then you walk through, once you get to the queue, you enter a building and you're now underwater. So no, you're not there yet. Sorry.
You're
We're
in
going
the
to go
beach.
back a little bit. You're
Yeah.
actually going through the shoreline and you'll see like it's sandy, like sandy dunes, and you'll have like beach signs and actually like educational signs. And there is a sign that warns you about sharks. And it just so happens to be like in the shape of Bruce. So once you get through the sand dunes, you enter another little area and now you're under the water. And then you'll see the waves floating around you, and then basically you get to is it a seashell or is it a clam?
Clammobile.
Clammobile. And that will take you through the ride, and of course, Nemo, that little rascal, he is hiding again. So now everybody's trying to find Nemo, which you'll just see him floating around like, ha 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 ha, you can't find me. Everybody's looking for him, and you get to see all the friends. You get to see Marlin and Dory looking for Fabio and Ringo, and
And
because Dory can't remember.
as you go through this attraction, when this was redone, because this wasn't the original version of the Seas, this was redone in 2006, somewhere around there. When it was done as this, projections, really good projections, were pretty new. And so you actually are riding the Clammobile and seeing the actual aquarium that's holding real fish that are really swimming in front of you. And then they have these projections of the Pixar characters from Finding Nemo projected on there. So you can kind of see Nemo hiding behind little corners and stuff like that. And that was really impressive at its time period. Now it's like, oh yeah, we know projections and this is fun. But when that came out, that was really cutting edge technology on getting it that sharp and that exact on glass, on water in an aquarium. That had to have been a nightmare to create. And it's a slow moving ride, so you can really have fun looking at it. And the ride itself is really just a transport vehicle to get you into the aquarium. So you can go the ride, which you should. You should do the ride. So you will ride the ride into the aquarium, and then you have 2 floors of sea life to explore. Lots of different educational spots within it. You can enter through the gift shop if you really don't want to do the ride. You can enter the back way and still get into this pavilion and see all the amazing stuff they've got there. They've even got like a little playground with the sharks, which my kids loved when they were little. We probably spent 2 hours. I kid you, we probably spent 2 hours playing in the shark area. They loved it. So yeah, it's a fun attraction.
Yeah, and they actually have a scavenger hunt inside there as well. It's a Dory scavenger hunt, and basically it's a fun way for the kids to go around and learn about other sea animals. No, for the scavenger hunt, you don't really get anything for it. I think you get like a sticker at the end.
You get education.
You get education. That is for sure. But I've done it. Like, just me personally. I've done it, and it was fun. It was really fun, and it is a fun way to, like, actually be like, directed to certain areas and then like actually search out the information. So, and then because it's like a little book, and then you put the sticker in the right spot for the correct animal or fish. So it's fun. And I know my kids have done it as well, and they had fun doing it. And it's a fun little thing for kids to do to learn more about the sea life there.
Yeah, I think they do a very, very, very good quality job of educating people at this attraction. This pavilion as a whole is really good at that. The cast members are extremely knowledgeable. I remember looking at the seahorses, and my daughter was quite infatuated with the seahorses. She thought they'd look like a horse. She was little. I think she was two. I think she was, yeah, I think she was 2.5 because I was quite pregnant with my son at the time. And she's looking at it. Well, she's like, that's not a seahorse. That's like a giraffe or something. That's long laugh. I don't even remember what she said. And then over comes this cast member and he just starts educating my daughter on them. And, I see your mom's pregnant. Do you know who gets pregnant, and carries the baby with seahorses? It's not the mommy, it's the daddy. And Ella's like, you've got to be kidding me. Like lucky seahorses. So it's a very nice way to get good interaction with, I'm going to call them experts, because I do feel like the cast members that work in the seas know their marine information quite well. And they'll offer it. You can touch certain areas. So if you've got really touchy kids, there are some that they'll let you like touch a sea star or things like that. So there are some areas. There's a
I don't think
lot
they have
of
that
mess.
anymore.
Did they get rid of that? That was there the last time we were there in January. Did they get rid of it? Ooh.
I have
They
not
had
seen that.
touch aquariums where they brought an aquarium out and a cast member stands right there. So it might depend
Maybe
on
it
what they
might just,
call.
I was going to say, it might be like a random thing then.
Yeah, we've seen it several times, but they always like to get their hands in that water and touch things. And so that was kind of a nice thing for them to be able to do there. But I do think that's one of the pavilions in particular that you go into, and there's different things going on. Like you see different things when you go into it each time. So that's something, if you've done it before, do it again. You're going to see something different.
And you need to go on the second floor and you need to go down that long hallway where there's a circle, because three things. You'll see all the animals, one, all the fish and sharks and stingrays and all that, even a sea turtle, all that fun sea life there. You will see a hidden Mickey. It's quite
Yeah,
big.
they've got several of those in there. I do remember that. I don't search them out, but I remember seeing quite a few.
Well, one is quite big, and it won't be hard to miss, so I don't even need to tell you. You'll be able to see it. And three, you might catch Mickey scuba diving in there as well, which is super cool.
I have never personally seen that. I've seen pictures of this, but I've never been fortunate enough to be there and actually see that happen.
Me either, but hopefully now that I'm down here, maybe I'll get a chance to see
Get a
it.
chance to catch it.
Yeah, so but that's amazing, and he'll do that every now and then. And that's just, if you see that, it's rare and it's amazing. So
I always think this one always this little piece of trivia always catches me. When you are in the seas, the water itself, they could pick Spaceship Earth up and put it in there, and there would be tons of room left. So just to show you how big that is, it's massive, and it doesn't look like it when you're there at all. But if you were to kind of even look at your Google map and see how big that pavilion is as compared to Spaceship Earth or anything else, it's massive. It's a massive aquarium.
it used to be the biggest aquarium in the US at one point, until
Yeah.
I think Georgia Aquarium came along.
I think I saw something about Georgia having, they also, I think I think Georgia also just recently built the largest nuclear power plant. So they're just going for Guinness World Records all over the place. Way to go,
Right?
Georgia.
Well, they also have whale sharks there. I mean, whew.
Whoa.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah, I mean, this pavilion is amazing. I just remember like my son was maybe 2, and I have this video I watch even to this day because it just gets the mama heart warm. He was just like standing at the window going, fishy, fishy.
shaking a bag.
Like, well, no, he was just super excited to see fish. And he was just like, fishy. Like, no matter where he turned, there was fish. So he was just.
And they're interesting fish. I mean, they've got the tropical in there. I love the little tanks. My favorite ones are the really bright yellow little fish. We call them bubbles, the bubbles fish, my bubbles.
Yeah.
But those are my favorite, and they're just little ones. But they've got everything from huge nurse sharks to tiny little tetras. I don't know fish. I'm not going to pretend to know fish.
They're neon tetras, yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Tiny little
I know
things.
my fish. I know my fish.
Good. One of us
Well,
needs to.
I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Do you
So
know it? Okay, I'm going to ask you this as somebody who doesn't know because I've been multiple times, but I do not remember seeing this. Do they have eels?
they do.
Where are
They
they?
do. Like, it's like the same area where you would see the tropical fish.
I love eels. I think they're so neat.
So yeah, they're in the circular
Okay.
thing, and you gotta look for them.
So the
Because,
standalone
eels,
aquariums.
yeah, they
Okay.
hide.
Yes. I just always think they're so neat. Like that's probably my favorite wildlife aquatic animal to look for are eels. I think they're neat.
Oh, yes.
Lots of
They're
jetsam.
definitely there. You just gotta find them.
Yay.
Yeah. And they actually were under construction for a while, and they might be opened up again. Like the area that you're thinking about with all the separate, like, little
Hmm.
aquariums, they've had that closed for a while now. And
Okay.
I think they just recently reopened them.
Okay. So yeah, they're constantly working. Obviously, water can be very destructive. So I feel like the seas is probably a very high maintenance pavilion because of the amount of creatures they're caring for, but also salt water in particular can be very hard on equipment and different things. So that's a constant maintenance area in Epcot for sure.
And they also have a nursery on the second floor as well that you could easily just kind of walk through and miss. So
Mhm.
it's like for not just like fish, but coral and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah. And one thing that we haven't brought up yet, but we probably should. There is an attraction within the attraction, which is turtle time with Crush, and
Turtle
it's
Talk with Crush.
turtle talk with your crush, and it's a really cute attraction where you go into this theater with there's no seats, it's ground, and the kids sit on the ground. And Crush comes out, and it is a complete interactive experience. So he will ask the kids by name. They'll be like, "Hey, you little boy with the blue shirt down in front, tell me, you know, do you know anything about how old turtles can be or whatever?" And the kid will answer. And it's really fun. As a mom, it's hilarious to watch because, that whole kids say the darndest things type thing. They do. And I don't think I have ever gotten through this attraction without having like a really good knee slapper that a kid happened to say.
Well, I got picked on the last time I was there.
I always sit way back.
Well, yeah, because the adults sit on the bench seats and
Yeah,
the
I
kids
sure
sit on the
do.
floor.
Way back.
And like he picked on Elena.
Oh,
And he was just like, he's like, so who brought you here today? And she's just like, my mom. And I was just like, no. So like he barely even talked to her. It was me. It was me. He was just like talking to me, and I'm like, Isn't this the kids? Go back to the kids. Get back over there.
Gotta hide in the back, Christy.
Yeah, but it's so funny because then like I love how they just interact with everybody and like when you catch them off guard, it's hilarious too. Of course, be appropriate about it, but like it's just funny the questions the kids ask. It's also cute when the kids are like, "Oh, I'm raising my hand, but I don't know why."
I
And
just
then
want
when
to
they get
interact. Yeah.
yeah, and then when the microphone comes to them and he's just like, "So what question do you have?" And then they're just like,
They
"Oh."
freeze. They're like, I just wanted to say hi to you. I met my first celebrity and it's cool.
Yeah. So, it's fun.
That
It's
is,
cute. It's cute, especially if you have kids. That's a cute one to really go to.
yeah.
And
And
there's a
I think that people like adults who like marine life, like a little bit of a slower pace. This is a really nice kind of break in the day from the sun and stuff. And there's a lot there to keep you busy and have a really good time with it. Kids are going to be a little wowed by this for sure. And it's a neat pavilion. Just there's a lot
yeah,
there.
there is. And there's something else we didn't mention that's in this pavilion as well. That's also a hidden gem. I have not eaten there. You have, but
Multiple
Coral
times.
Reef.
Yes. Yep.
Do
There
you want to
is, if
tell them a
you,
little bit about that?
when you are approaching the attraction, if you go all the way to the right, there is a restaurant that it's a very neat restaurant with its decor. So it kind of looks like you're sitting in coral. The booths are kind of built into little walls and stuff like that, and everybody looks out at the aquarium. And it is the aquarium that you will see. It's a different vantage point than from being in the seas itself. But it's the same thing. So you will see the sea turtle, you'll see the sharks coming through, and it's a fun place to eat, take a little downtime. I think the menu has changed. When we were little, that was the first place my brother got a lobster. You can't do that anymore. So they've made it a little bit more child friendly, a little easier to get people eating and back on their way there. But it is a nice way to have a meal and some entertainment at the same time. And so that's kind of that's a fun one too.
I think that would be a fun place to eat.
Yeah. If you're looking for like, ooh, I want a really yummy meal. Yeah, Epcot, don't go to the Coral Reef when you are at Epcot and you're looking for a really like authentic ethnic meal. That is not where you eat. This is when you have a lot of interest in the seas, you want to see it, and then you still have to fill your tummy. So not that their food is bad, but is there better restaurants at Epcot? Yeah, you're at Epcot. So has some of
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
restaurants in the resorts. So yeah. Neat pavilion. Head over to that corner and check it out. Well, we're going to end our segment with TTFN trivia. So, Christy, if you can pull this number out, I'm going to be really impressive. But how many gallons of water are held in the seas? That aquarium, how many gallons of water is it?
5.7 million.
You pulled that number completely out. That's amazing.
Now, let me tell you, I read that like just a little bit ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of
Don't be
water.
too
Oh my
don't
gosh. I'm still pretty impressed. Second question. We did go over this. So, listeners, if you were listening, you might be able to get this one. The vehicles that transport you into the aquarium, what's the name for them?
currently.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Nemo ones.
I want to say the clam mobile.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's a clammobile. And they're very cute. It's also for those of you guys that have been to Magic Kingdom, it's the same basic mechanism that's used in the Little Mermaid ride as well. And they also call those clammobiles. Inside the attraction is another attraction where you can interact. Who do you interact with inside of this attraction?
Fresh.
Yeah, talk a turtle time with Crush. Number 4. This is one we just talked about. So if you get this one wrong, people out there who are listening, you need to listen again because we just talked about this seriously like 3 minutes ago. There is a restaurant that is hidden within seas. What is the name of the restaurant that's in there?
Oh, coral reef.
The coral reef. And the last one. This one I thought was really interesting, and I've seen this a few times. I cannot do this one, but there is an EPCOT adventure called the EPCOT Seas Dive Quest. And you can do this attraction for $229, but you have to hold a certification. What type of certification do you have to hold in order to do this attraction?
Scuba.
Yeah, you need to be
I
scuba
was going to
certified.
joke around and say dancing, but you know.
You should probably be able to swim too. You are
No, you don't need to know
scuba
how to swim.
certified. Yeah, if you're scuba certified and you have $229 in 2024, because we know that that changes, you can go swim with the fishies in the sea.
I think that would be amazing, but I can't do that. I'm
I
not
am not
scuba
scuba.
certified.
Me either. I want to be. That's something I would like to do, but I am not currently. Yes. Well, thank you guys all for joining us today on our trip to the seas. We hope you had some fun, got some gossip, are willing to try an attraction, or got some nostalgia hearing about it. And as always, attractioneers, we will tell you, as always, Christy.
Thanks for sharing the magic.
See you later, all. Bye.
Bye.